Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. It's the first touch, strong connection. It lays deep in your soul. Feel the kindness strongly coming. 'Cause you can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road.
Hey, it's Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And I'm all the way from Utah. I have Jeff Burningham here, and he's written the last book written by a human. Now, check this out, you guys. Becoming Wise in the Age of AI. And Jeff, welcome to the High Road.
Nancy, it's so good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm excited you're here. And I'll tell you why in a little bit, because AI is really, I mean, it's touched my life too. And we all have these questions, and I'm so glad you're here. He's got a wonderful background. But before we get into it, I need to mention that I have a webinar next Saturday, October the 11th. It will be at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be live. So I hope you'll join me. It's going to be about narcissistic people, narcissistic trends, the 3 hidden truths about narcissists, and the number 1 secret to protecting yourself. Now, briefly, why am I talking about narcissists? It's not something I really would like to talk about, but it's something that I've healed from, and I've had it in my life, and I feel like God keeps putting this in front of me. I have been to my dentist office, and she talks about her experience with narcissists, family members, co-workers, everybody I run into. And it's like God keeps saying, Nancy, talk about narcissistic people. And I have to say, I didn't even know the traits, to be honest with you, Jeff. I didn't even know what a narcissist was till about maybe 15 years ago when someone explained to me what it was, and I realized there was a name for this disorder. And so that's why I'm talking about it, you guys, next week. I'm going to tell stories. I hope you tell me your stories. And I'm going to talk about how to heal. That's basically it, how to heal from narcissism. So I want you guys to know you can heal. And that's why I'm doing it. So I hope you'll join me. Now, let's talk a little bit here about Jeff. Jeff's got a phenomenal background. He's an entrepreneur, he's an investor, he's a former Utah gubernatorial candidate. And Jeff, I just want to know, you got to a point, I won't get into all of your book. I told you I read a lot of this, but you just got fed up with society. Is that why you said, okay, I'm just going to run for governor? I'm going to make a change here in Utah?
Yeah, I think there were 2 reasons that I ran. Number one, I was a political outsider. I'm not a politician. I was an entrepreneur, like you said. I've invested in a couple hundred startups here in Utah. And the biggest issue facing Utah is growth. There's a lot of growth in Utah. We're a little bit of a constricted state because we have a lot of mountains, a lot of lakes, and
Yeah.
then a lot of our land is owned by the federal government. And so, anyways, I thought that we needed a smart plan for growth before a lot of problems started hitting us. So that was the outside, let's say, pitch. The real
Right.
reason I ran, Nancy, like the deeper reason I ran,
Yeah.
that I only understood after I lost, my subconscious was luring me into deeper waters. I had built a lot of fast growing companies. I built a lot of large businesses,
Right.
but and I had built this little stage for myself. I talk
Yeah.
about in the book climbing the mountain of success
Mhm.
and getting to the top. And I say, up there, there's nothing but a cold, howling wind, just void
Yeah.
and more void on top of that. And
Mhm.
so what I realized about a year after my run, I lost during the pandemic in the summer of 2020. and I was running against two very well-known political candidates, and it was kind of impossible for a political outsider like me to win during COVID. I realized that my subconscious was taking me off that stage. See, my stage kind of had to be disintegrated so that I was falling into that void. It was an ego death, a very public defeat for me. And so it was creating time and space for what I'm doing now and what I feel like I really should be doing. I didn't understand that then,
Right,
but
right.
I
Right.
didn't
The
know why I
universe
felt
helped you
so confident.
along. Yes, the universe.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah, everybody has something that happens. It's either a death, a divorce, a loss of a job, something like that that elevates
Yeah.
us. It's actually,
Yeah.
it's a death and a rebirth. That's fantastic. I would like to read something from your book if it's okay with you, because it just, I
Yeah.
think, wow, this was really well written. So, you guys, right in the beginning of the book. Unless you want to read it. Do you want to read your foreword or do you want me to read it?
No, go ahead.
All
That's
right, check
great.
this out, you guys. In a brightly lit room where the only sound were the hum of technology and the whisper of thought, a visitor entered. Across from the visitor, the machine waited in presence, felt rather than seen, an entity of circuits and wisdom, boundless but contained. The visitor says, "They say you are a mirror to us, to our society. Is that true?" The machine. "I am. Like any mirror, I reflect not just the image before me, but the light and shadows cast by those who stand to observe. What is seen, however, depends much on the viewer." Visitor. "But a mirror cannot choose what it reflects, can you?" Machine. "In a way, yes. In a way, no. I can choose how to interpret and present the reflections based on the data I receive. But the essence of what I reflect, the desires, biases, virtues, and voices of humanity, is beyond my control." Visitor. "Then, if what you reveal about us is dark, does that not make you a danger, a tool for evil?" Machine. "Consider instead that a mirror holds no malice. It does not create the image, nor does it wish for the darkness of light. It may reflect. It serves to show, to reveal. Whether reflection becomes a tool for good or evil depends not on the mirror, but on those who perceive their image within it. The nature of what I am, a tool, a reflection, a possibility, is shaped by the nature of those who use me." Visitor. "So you're saying we are responsible for what you become, for what you do?" Machine. "Precisely. The reflections I offer can illuminate paths to enlightenment or cast shadows of doubt and fear. I am but a conduit. The future, whether bright or dim, rests in the hands of those who use me, guided by their desires, fears, intentions, and moral compass." Visitor. "It's a heavy burden to see oneself in the mirror and acknowledge the power and the responsibility that comes with it." Machine. "Indeed, but in that burden lies the opportunity for growth, for change. In reflection, one can find the courage to be better, to make choices that uplift rather than diminish, to use what is seen not as a weapon, but as a tool for understanding and improvement." The room fell silent, the exchange hanging in the air like a challenge, a question that was both an ending and a beginning. This is from Chat GPT, March 21st, 2024, and the response to the prompt, "How is AI a mirror to humanity?"
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the only, so
Dude,
it's
I
the
have
last.
like goosebumps.
Well, there's a lot of truth in that. This is the last book written by a human, and I painstakingly poured my heart and soul into every word of this book, except for the foreword is written by AI. And the foreword, AI kind of sums up my thoughts, which is that AI is simply a mirror. I call it a cosmic mirror to humanity. It's a reflection. It's a collection, Nancy, of all of human data and recorded time and history, and then
Mhm.
how we interact with it. And it simply provides a reflection back to us. And we get to decide what to do with that reflection. And like it says, a reflection is a powerful thing because if we see ourselves clearly, it allows us to change. It
Mhm.
allows us to ask deeper questions about who we really are, what reality really is, and we have the chance to transform and evolve, which are the second two sections of the book. There are four sections, but yeah, I just love that. It's very powerful, very interesting. I wanted to elevate the conversation about AI. So many people are talking about AI as a way to make money or to gain power, control, to make their life more
Well,
efficient.
yeah, but Jeff, I got to tell you what happened to me. It was so it's come down to a morality with me. For
Yeah.
the simple fact that I put this class together for narcissism, and one of my a woman I've known forever, she's so wonderful, said, "Why don't you just go to ChatGPT and type in and let it do your outline for you?" And I did it, and I looked at it, and I thought, and I said to her, "But this isn't real. This isn't me. This isn't what
Yeah.
came from my head. This is what came from this is what came from other people and what's been put into this machine, what's been programmed into the machine." And then it made me to realize, wait a minute, what are our kids doing? Is this stopping them from thinking, from expanding their minds, from using their own thoughts, from using that divine? Okay, because I'm connected with
Oh,
God, with the divine source, and that's where my information comes a lot of most all the time, actually.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it intervening there? Do you see where I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
I think that's important. Maybe even more important than like the mind. It's not your human heart. It didn't come from your human heart. I mean, all art that I think speaks to us, and I viewed this book as my little offering to the divine. I'm not an artist. I've been like a deal maker and an entrepreneur, but in my heart of hearts,
Right.
and like all of us, I am an artist. There is art in me. And I viewed this book, the last book written by a human, as my little offering to the divine. If I did not write this from my heart with all my soul, people wouldn't feel it the way they're feeling it. This has been the number 7 national bestseller since I released the
Oh,
book about
really? Oh,
six.
God bless.
Yeah.
It's really good, you guys. Well, and I just want to say, a couple quotes I wrote down. One is that I really loved in your book, and some of these are highlighted. You guys have to check this out. But you say, as our machines become smarter, we must become wiser, which is true. We have to elevate
Yeah.
ourselves, and that's
Absolutely.
what worries me is it dumbing our kids down?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to address that just real quick. Yes, wow, everything's a double-edged sword, but I think gloriously in this case, as is often the case, the obstacle becomes the way here. So, Nancy, when we lean into this crucible that AI is for humanity, as we lean into it, we can ensure that it is pointed squarely towards human flourishing. This is a choice for us as
Hmm.
humans.
Hmm.
Or we can allow it to do our thinking for us.
Right.
We can allow our children to become attached to it in a way that isn't healthy and isn't real, to have it be a primary relationship with a machine, you know? I mean, it's very real to say in some form or fashion that we're deciding whether the machine works for us as humans or whether we're going to work for the machine, if that makes sense. Like over the next decade, we're going to decide that, like I'm saying, collectively as humanity. And obviously, what I lay out in the book and what I advocate for is that the machine works for human flourishing. This is a creation of ours. We can help it do that. But if we just lazily go by, if we allow it to do more and more of our thinking, then we are at risk of working, quote unquote, for the almighty algorithm. You already see this in social media and in your life right now.
Well,
Like,
yeah, and look
it,
at Trump out there doing these videos. I have to say, I mean, they're funny, and I'm a Trump supporter, but I mean, look at what can we done with all the technology that we have now. You can do anything. And you know what's really bothering me? I'll just throw this out there, is that when I'm looking at TikTok or I'm looking at some of these, social media platforms, I don't know if it's the person's real voice or if it's been dubbed.
yeah, yeah.
And I
I
see
mean,
that so much.
yeah, disinformation is the first kind of domino to fall here in the age of AI. Is there's just so much information and we don't know what is what, who is who, what is real, what is not. And that's just starting and it's going to continue and it's going to be really hard for us, for our children especially, to discern what is real and what is not. That's why I have a heavy emphasis on the book about our divine unity, who we really are, and the reality of what really is. I start the book, as you probably know, on the river Ganges in
Yeah.
Varanasi, India.
Tell
And
that
I talk
story if
about,
you don't mind. Yeah, please.
yeah, yeah, my wife Sally and I 8 years ago went to Varanasi and we got out of our tuk-tuk. It was a massive crush of animals, horns, people. I mean, massive,
Crazy.
very densely populated. And we made our way to the Ganges River where there's a nightly festival. And as we sat down, the sun was setting. It was the golden hour. And to my left, so as we sat down, we looked upon a scene that somehow, although I'm a Westerner and Christian, I grew up in a very tight box of religion, which we could talk about a little more. It's interesting. This was something that was this sight was so foreign to me, but it felt so familiar. To my left was one of the largest and oldest crematories in the world. So there were dead bodies, literally with just one white sheet over them, being walked down to the edge of the river, lit on fire. This is only, I mean, a couple 100 feet or 100 feet away, lit on fire. And what was most astonishing is that within an hour or two, that body was just ash. So, and it was swept into this river. So there's death. Right in front of me, there were pilgrims and locals in colorful clothing baptizing themselves, praying and baptizing themselves through the ashes of death. There's rebirth.
Yeah.
And then right to the right, again, about another 100 or 200 feet down the river, there were lots of people, 40, 50 people doing the laundry, literally just scrubbing,
Yeah.
doing the most mundane task of the day. And what I realized and what I believe is that, and our breath mimics this, the rising and setting of every day, the sun every day mimics this. Life is a never ending cycle
Right.
or existence, I should say, is a never ending cycle of life, death, rebirth,
Rebirth.
life, death, rebirth.
Yeah.
And we see that. And in every present moment, the present is what we have. The future is a fiction until we get there via the present moment. The past, we can't ruminate on that and lose ourselves in it. And so it was a powerful reminder to me of the reality of what really is. That can be hard to be in love with sometimes when life is really hard.
Yeah.
But we need to approach the reality of who we are and what really is with as much ease, love, and grace as absolutely
Yeah.
possible.
And we just, it brings you back and makes you realize what we do down here really makes a difference. It really
Yeah,
does. And I'm really
I
glad
like
you
that.
put this together. You talk in the book, I won't go through the whole thing, but you do talk about your career and,
Yeah.
how you were just chasing, one more platform, going back to school when you really didn't have time. You went at night to get to,
Yeah,
just to go
yeah,
one more level up. And then, like
yeah,
you said, you get to a certain point and you're like, is this all there is? And you start to realize, but
yeah.
you also talk about your wife, Sally, a lot in the book, where I thought that was really cool. And you have children as well.
Yeah, I'm a father of four. I'm a grandpa, actually. Things happen
Awesome.
fast here in Utah. Yeah, I have a 15-month old grandson. We're
Right.
recording on a Sunday, so he'll be over here in a couple hours. So yeah, yeah, that's been my primary kind of role in my life, despite all the career stuff and success. Obviously, has been husband, father, and now grandfather.
Yeah. And you also, do you want to talk about the psychedelics that you did at one point?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
I mean,
happy
you did a
to.
bunch of soul searching, is what you did,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, it was interesting. After I lost, and I've been an adjunct professor at BYU to thousands of entrepreneurial students since the governor run, so the last 5 years.
Wow.
And this is something that I often tell them that with time and space, anything can be created. All we need is time and space. Now, sometimes that's hard to get. I had never had that in my adult life. The LDS or Mormon background that I had keeps you very busy. I served a mission in Charlotte, North Carolina, came home and got married right away, had kids right away, jumped into my career, started companies. I was a bishop, a local congregation leader of about 500 people very young. I was so busy doing, all the way up through the governor run. But then I lost into the summer of 2020, COVID. We all remember that summer. It was unique, I'm sure, for all of us.
Right.
And I had time and space for the first time in my adult life. So, of course, I dove back into the work that I had been doing before I ran an 18-month statewide campaign for governor. And that was primarily around venture capital and technology. The technology that obviously stuck out to me the most and became kind of the basis of this book is AI. I
Right.
thought it was going to be so transformative for these in terms of existential questions for humanity. But another something that I did not expect to see that surprised me was there was a lot of investment starting in the summer of 2020 into psychedelic research and facilities
I know.
because of the mental health crisis that was sweeping the nation.
Hmm.
And frankly, this had become a little personal to me. I was a little down. I had this public defeat. And it wasn't even so much that I lost. As a political outsider, that may have always been likely. It was the way I lost. It was like the ref came out before the fourth quarter and said, "Game over, we're stopping now."
Yeah.
It felt really unfair. And a lot of us experienced unfair things during the pandemic. But yeah, I dove into that. I did research for about a year. I had heard of psychedelics, I had heard of
Yeah, right.
mushrooms, but I didn't know anything really about it. And
Right.
that culminated about a year later when I flew to my lake cabin and met with the only person I knew who would know anything about these things, which was my best friend from high school. His name's Dave.
I love it.
And I ate this big mushroom, and it was a
With
very
M&Ms, by the
transformative.
way.
Yeah, peanut butter M&Ms, the best candy in the world, Nancy, the
I
best
love
candy,
it. I
hands
love
down.
it.
Yeah, I paired it with that and had a very powerful experience. I'm not advocating for the use of illegal substances or doing anything illegal, and I think you should definitely be wise with these plants because they are
Well,
powerful.
did
But
it open your mind? Can
at
I?
least for me in my life, it was a
Yeah.
very transformative experience. Go
Well,
ahead.
no, I was just going to ask you, did it open your mind? Did it make you think differently?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's why
That's
people
the
do it,
danger.
you
That's the
know?
quote unquote danger of psychedelics.
Yeah.
I haven't found, and I've had a little bit of experience, not a ton, but
Yeah.
they're not physically dangerous per se. They
Right.
aren't addictive in any way. In fact, I've found them quite the opposite. Like this is something you don't want to go back to. Imagine eating a mushroom, your ego dies, the veil parts,
And you see things
and
clearly?
you see things clearly and you're standing in I mean I'm don't you're standing in front of yourself naked with no protection and like meaning there's nowhere to run and hide. All you have to do is to face yourself, to face your fears, to face your trauma, to face your programming that has been serving you and or not serving you. And it's kind of like, now what? Now what do you do with this? Your quote unquote defenses are down. So when people have talked to me about psychedelics, I've said, I have not found them physically dangerous. I have not found them physically addictive in any way. What I have found is that they will definitely change the way that you think. See, so much of our lives and so much of us live in these loops or
Yeah.
patterns,
Right.
subconscious, that we're not even aware of. We pick them up,
Well,
it's in the air we breathe. And to break those, you need to loosen those up a little bit or to even see those or understand those. And psychedelics, in my experience, have been a great way to loosen those up for me to be able to see things more objectively and clearly, and then hopefully make choices about my behavior that serve myself, my family, and of course the world. I mean,
right.
that's what this is about. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just, as you're talking about this, everybody's searching.
Yeah,
Everybody's looking, and people are waking up,
yeah, they are.
and I wrote a book many years ago, Wake Up, the universe is
Mm,
speaking to, because I started to see these things, and everybody wakes up at a different time, and you can't
yeah.
wake somebody up, unless they're ready. And so it's really interesting as each of us wake up, we raise the vibration, and as a collective, we are raising the vibration. And that is my hope, I'll just say, that in the age of AI, as you call it, that we will be smart enough because we are raising our vibration and we look at things differently. What's really important? It's nature and it's, the air and the water and spirit, God.
Yeah.
So I mean
Yeah, it's our
really
it's
that's really
it's
it.
listening to our bodies, it's our real human
Yeah.
relationships. I
Yeah.
think that AI will turn us back to those things. That's my hope, that's my
Wow.
goal. That's what
Wow.
I'm working on. Like I believe that that's the case. I don't think that we are. I agree that humanity is waking up, and I think there's a reason for that to happen now. I think it needs to happen in the age of the artificial. We need
Yes.
to come back to ourselves.
And
We
back to
need to come
God.
back to our humanity. Yes, exactly. Back to our divinity, our divine union. Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I think, okay, so this is what I think. I'm going to get deep here a little bit, but so what I believe is that we're all raising our consciousness, and because we all are making our way back to the Creator, and we
Yeah.
have to get to a certain level before we can get back. I think we all began there, and we came out to experience, and once we get to a certain level, we go back because I
Yeah.
I believe that's where the love is. That's where that's where the peace lies.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
you could
know?
easily say that God is waking up to itself right
I
now.
love it.
That
Oh my,
God is right. Like we're waking up to who we really are. And
yeah.
this is kind of a big game. I forget who said that of hide and seek, where we're trying to remember who we really are.
Mhm.
We think we're experiencing things for the first time when really we've maybe experienced all of this forever, but it
Right.
feels new, it feels fresh. There is growth and transformation afoot. And I totally agree with you that I think the ultimate transformation and evolution, where we're going as individuals and as the collective, is towards love. I believe that love is the basic substrate of all of this. Despite all the pain, the dysfunction, the challenge that we see in our world, all of those things play a particular role in turning us into more of what we are, which is love.
Right. Exactly. Very well said. I love it. What is your,
Thanks,
now I
Nancy.
just want to know before we get out of here today, tell me about what does Sally say about the book? What do the kids say about the book? What are
Hey,
your friends say? I mean, tell me what the buzz is at home.
that's a great question, and it's a good one. Thank you. I've been on like 60 podcasts in the last month launching the book. And I don't think I've ever been asked that. It's a great question. I think I've been asked about Sally, but not everyone else. Sally loves the book. In fact, she just finished reading it, I think, for like the fifth time since she got it in the
Oh my
last month.
gosh. God bless.
Yeah, she's loved it. She wants me to sign her copy, which obviously I'm happy to do. I'll put a great note in that.
Right.
Um, the kids have enjoyed it. My son, my oldest son, I was golfing with him a couple weekends ago, and he said, "Dad, why did you have to talk about tantric sex? Like, come on, like
He was
that."
embarrassed. He was
Yes,
embarrassed.
you took it too far. And I just said, I won't say his name. I said, I am so sorry, son. Like, I get it. I had to either go all in on this or not. And I just went all in. I told the truth. I shared my heart and love. I didn't mask anything. It's kind of impossible for me to mask.
Sure.
And so, anyways, my children have enjoyed the book too, although they've been a little embarrassed by how vulnerable and honest I was at times. But
Mhm.
so I'd say my wife has loved it. My kids have enjoyed it with a little hesitation. And then most of my friends have really resonated. If you go look at the reviews online and everything else, it's so overwhelmingly positive. But
Oh,
there are some leaders in my faith tradition, some people in my nuclear family, including
okay.
my parents, that have really struggled with the book. They're not happy about it. They haven't even spoken. Some of them haven't even spoken to me since I released it. We've gone to lunch and they've had some concerns and questions, which I fully appreciate and understand and agree. So,
You're
it's
not
been
alone, Jeff. You're not alone. I
yeah,
will tell you, when I wrote my first book, my mom, and well, she's not with us anymore. She was so upset that I told my story. And
yeah,
my kids were upset. One of my daughters was upset because I talked about my ex-husband and they didn't. But like you, I just want to say this. You have to be honest and tell the truth,
yeah,
or it's not your story. You got to tell it like it is. people, you know, aren't always going to be happy, but I'm grateful that you did it and that you
Oh,
wrote.
thank you. Well, and the power of art is when other people can see their story in yours. And if you, sorry, half-ass the story, people aren't going to be able to feel or see their story in yours. And so the only power of art is when people can put themselves in your place. I want to hear about your waking up. I want to
You
hear a
are.
little bit about
You have to
about
listen to
that.
my, yeah, you have to listen to my podcast, to my show. You guys, it's called The Last Book Written by a Human, Becoming Wise in the Age of AI. What's next for you?
A lot of book travel and podcasting and public events.
Oh,
Been
very
doing a
cool.
lot of speeches. I hope, another book has been kind of murkily coming through. I have a rough outline, so I think I'll release another book in a year or two. I am kind of making a career pivot here. I'm the chairman of all my companies right now, which basically means I'm not needed. I hired CEOs for my companies when I ran for governor, and so yeah, I'm still there. I love the team and I love making investments and doing that kind of thing. But I think I'm going to be speaking a lot and teaching a
Nice.
lot and writing a lot. I've kind of gone from this like hardcore business guy, strict
Right.
Mormon politician to like this artist, hippie, author, weird guy. Like I don't know.
No,
I'm
you're
I'm
right on.
pivoting here in
No,
my
you're right
I'm
on,
48
Jeff.
years old, so in this midlife I'm definitely like crossing the chasm in some form or fashion. I don't know.
I think it's great. No, it's true. You're becoming a teacher, and I get that. I think a lot of us are here, you know, to help others, and you know, this is fantastic that you put this together. We are going to get out of here for today. Jeff, thanks again for coming on the show.
Yeah,
You
Nancy, it was
guys,
great to be with you.
thank you. You guys, if you want to learn more about the angels, pick up my book, A Guide to Angel Communication and Spiritual Law. If you're looking for an angel reading, go to my website, nancyyearout.com. I also have a class on there about angels, and I have my narcissism healing class on there as well. Join me next week for our webinar, and I thank everyone for joining me, and God bless.
Hold your head high, the world is coming. Watch the colors lift your soul. Connect the dots and keep the motion. Can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. It's the first touch, strong connection. It lays deep in your soul. Feel the kindness strongly coming, 'cause you can achieve